Hello, you've caught us desperately trying to assemble the perfect Resident Evil multiplayer game. And if you know where that reference is from, 10 points to you. Hey, HD.
Hey, what's up? If you know where that's from, you are a man of culture.
Correct.
A man or woman of culture.
Oh, correct, yes, because women play video games as well, HD.
Contrary to popular belief,
Yeah,
women
true.
play video.
True,
Yes.
true. I mean, who would have
Men
thought
are
it?
in the kitchen now.
Yes, and we immediately demonetized. Thank you. Okay, just relax. We're just joking, everyone. It's little.
Yeah,
Like, so,
a joke.
HC, welcome back. How you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. All the better to see you.
Yeah. Like,
PTR.
yeah. Oh, Danny. Yeah. But go by PTR.
Danny.
But knowing you doing the podcast, you'll say Danny, and then you'll be like, "Who's Danny?" It's me.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, I thought about it the last and I was like, do they know your name is Danny? I don't know.
Oh, they should know by now. But anyway,
Yeah.
why are we here? Because a birdie told me that you like Resident Evil.
Really?
I like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
You like Resident Evil.
Yeah,
Everybody like Resident
you know,
Evil.
I'm in a perpetual state of just, looking for new Resident Evil content, while simultaneously, just, harking back to the days. And I always return to, that's how this podcast started. We literally came up with the idea of this yesterday.
Yes, exactly.
Because I was at home. I was about 3 or 4 glasses of red wine in.
As one is.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just searching Resident Evil on YouTube again, and I was watching a video. I can't remember what I sent it to you about how the OG games still hold up.
True.
And that that got us talking, and we were talking about, and then ended up with this concept now.
True. I was thinking of the next podcast should be about multiplayer games for Resident Evil and their exciting. What's the word I'm looking for? The exciting options that they gave us, which
Yes.
not very exciting to be honest. But you and I, our first. Well, those who don't know, and those who do know, our first podcast was HT and I speaking for 2 hours about every Resident Evil game. All right,
Rambling.
Just rambling, and it went one by one. And so now, obviously, it's no surprise to anyone that Capcom did dip their fingers in the multiplayer. I think it's fair to say most of them have been misses and some very bad misses.
Yep, I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
but even though the worst games that they have made, there is something there that I thought, that can be put into a multiplayer Resident Evil game. So now, obviously, HT and I, we've been thinking this the whole day and yesterday of how we'd go about making our perfect game. But I thought we'd start the podcast just quickly going through, in my opinion, best to worst of the multiplayer games. Obviously, we're not going to go into a deep dive of everyone, but there is like I say, yes, exactly. But like I said, this morning I watched videos of all these games, and there are some things that you can salvage from each game. So, without further ado, let's start with the worst one in my opinion, and the one I believe that you said that's shutting down soon, Reverse.
Resident Evil Reverse. It is also the most recent one.
Yes.
Coming out October 28th, 2022. Releasing with a little bit of a whimper, like a little
That's
bit of a
an
shadow
understatement.
Yeah, like a proper shadow release. There was no, big here's our new multiplayer game, and like I suppose any game there was a little bit of an audience. There was a little bit of people playing it, but I heard so frighteningly little about it to the point that I was like, because that was packaged with Resident Evil 8.
Correct. I was also to confirm that remind, yeah.
Yeah, it was 8, and loved Resident Evil 8. Both of us did. We both got the flag
Correct.
there.
I was surprised how much I enjoyed 8. If you haven't played 8, try it.
Oh, that mercenaries mode, dude! How was those double S rankings for the trophy? That was frustrating.
The thing is, it was more frustrating for you because you got that day one, yeah, that game.
Yes, I did.
Okay, I got that way later when the DLC for the third what do you call it? Third person view.
Third person.
Yes, I got it because and so the Mercenaries Mode was was much easier for me. And once I found the exploit with Chris, I just ran through it. I know, yeah.
But yeah, dude, Reavers. You know, when they showed that trailer, I was like, what are they doing out? And that little sort of pop art comic-y sort of filter that they had on it completely put me off. So design choice wise, it irked me a bit. And then when I actually played it, because I played a few rounds of it, I was like completely put off. You know, that whole free-for-all PvP shooter, really? Resident Evil? That's your best concept you can come up with for a Resident Evil multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
Who was the audience there? You know, so
what? Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, exactly, who is the audience? When have Resident Evil fans have been asking for free-for-all PvP online game of Resident Evil? It made no sense.
Dumb.
I believe it shipped with it's actually got 3 maps in total, if I'm not mistaken. It shipped with 2, and the third one came later. So it's just 3 maps. That's it.
Wow.
And just it's. So, like I say, with that one, I say it's the worst one. It is getting shutting down soon, and I think there's nothing you can salvage from there. There's not a game mechanic that you can, you know. So that in the bin. Yes. And let's move on to the next one, which was another banger. Resident Evil Resistance. Now Okay, you go.
I'm gonna have to stop you. You. Sorry, you can finish that thought now, but I am gonna challenge you in that order, in the sense that we are doing this order from worst to best, right?
In my personal opinion, yes.
Oh, your opinion, okay?
Yes.
Because my next choice would have been Umbrella Corps, but you can talk about
Oh
this.
no. Hey, listen. Hey, we can put this in any order. They shit. They are shit. Now, I've actually. It's a good thing I watched the video of this morning, because I completely had what the phrase is, Mandela effect on this. I completely thought it was a different game. All right. So when I was watching, I'm like, oh, was it like that? And we played this. We played it when it came out. You, me, and Flash. Remember?
No. I think. Not Umbrella Corps. I don't
No,
think
not Umbrella Corps. Not Umbrella Corps.
Resistance.
Yes, Resistance. I'm talking about Resistance.
Yes. No, we did play it. We did, or we tried to, because when we could join a game, you know. Because I remember there were some issues initially.
Yeah. Now, when like I said, I completely thought of it as a different game, and when I was watching it, I'm thinking, you know what? This is Outbreak with good graphics but terrible game design. Because when I'm watching it, it's chaotic, but not in a good way.
Yeah, it was that whole asymmetrical 4v1 online multiplayer, the 4 survivors.
Oh yeah,
the one mastermind kind of thing. So obviously trying to capitalize off the Dead by Daylight style gameplay, with who has the monopoly in that sense. You know, the way Fortnite has it in Battle Royale. Don't try and make a clone of Dead by Daylight. That game is going strong, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not my cup of tea, but I can appreciate it for what it is.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, and Resistance was another missed opportunity.
Yeah. But then, like I said, now here's something we can salvage from Resistance: the RE engine and the gameplay. Well, you know, like the base of it. The idea is there. You just take out the mastermind, the 4v1. That's thing, and now just make it less chaotic, and we'll get into that because okay, I mean, spoilers, like for us the best multiplayer game is Outbreak, right?
It's Outbreak.
So we are like, from what I'm trying to say, I think we'll expand when we get to Outbreak, which is not too far from there. So from there we'll just go to Umbrella Corps, which is why. Now, funny enough, you know that Capcom wanted to capitalize on the esports thing that was blowing up at that time. That's why Umbrella Corps exists.
Oh, not that game. Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna be a complete and utter hypocrite here and say, look, I never actually personally played it.
Who did? Who did?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who did? But I watched a fair amount of it. I didn't even need to make my mind up. Again, same as Reverse. Who asked for this?
Yeah.
There's so many other better sort of competitive PvP shooters out there. This goes back to our last discussion around trying to replicate something that already exists and is doing it better.
Yeah.
Like you're just wasting your time and money that way, and you know your brand name.
Yeah.
You are spoiling your brand name.
I'm surprised they got the green light, because if you look at it, it is bare bones, dude. It is nothing. There's nothing there. I mean, I like the mechanic. Like here's something you can salvage. The mechanic is that the zombies don't attack you because you've got a zombie jam on your back or somewhere on your person. And obviously, if the enemy soldiers shoot it off, then obviously it's open season on your ass, and all the zombies come after you. I like that idea. That's an idea that we put in the box of good ideas. And there was another thing I saw that I didn't know, because like I said, I was watching gameplay this morning, and you know, like some stairs, instead of like running up the stairs, you can like John Wick your way up there. You like run up the wall, and with your knife, which is like a hook, like an ice pick, you can hang on there and pull yourself up. Which I thought, okay, that I can see, that's a good idea, and I can see that going somewhere. But other than that, there's nothing. It's a nothing burger. And this is a fake gun, YouTube. Don't worry. I don't know if you go back and watch gameplay. Right, it's third person over the shoulder, and the guy's holding his gun like so. He's got like his hand up here, which has a shield, and he's holding his gun like this. And it's like, let me shoot this right by my ear and see how that goes. You know, who designed this? Wow. Go watch it after this. Anyone, go watch it after this. It's like he's like this, dude.
I will. That's so bad.
And then the guy was playing it. He was killing himself laughing because, dude, crouching on the ground, the dude was like Sonic the Hedgehog. While he's crouched on the ground, dude. Oh well. Anyway, okay. Fun fact. Yeah. Because I like to collect games, and you know this, if anyone can see this at the back there, I thought to myself, Umbrella Corps could be an interesting platinum to get, right? I don't know if it's got a platinum trophy. I haven't looked at the trophy list yet, but I was intrigued. I say, okay, it's going to be a shit game, but it might be a good video to do. So obviously, I try and buy physical. So I go on all my channels that I usually do to get physical games, and I can't find it anywhere. I only managed to find a Japanese copy, and the dude was selling it for like 100 euros. Like, what? That's strange. Yeah. So I go on the old ChatGPT and I go, yo, did this game not have a physical release? And they go, yes, in Japan. But in the West, it was all digital. And the game is still available. I go, oh, really? So I looked it up. It's 15 euros. So I put that on wish list. And if that goes down in price substantially, and it's got a trophy list, I might give you a call. All right.
Look what game you go and buy digital. But I mean, I suppose if you were going to step out, just yeah, make it that one.
Yes, why not? All right.
Jeez.
Now we're getting to the games, which I mean, they are good, but the better. Well, the next one is the better way to subscribe. It will be decent, because the idea is then we both played it as well. Operation Raccoon City. Now, execution, terrible. But idea, very good.
Very good. Dude, let me tell you, when I saw that first cinematic trailer, dude, there I was like, what? This is what I want. We're back in Raccoon City, and there's these two teams that, I thought they were going to go up against each other, but then also against the zombies, which I suppose there was sometimes like that, but I thought it was going to be more narratively driven, and a little bit more meat on the bones, because that was sort of bare bones gameplay a lot of the time. Like the environments as well, like, I know there was like different classes you got, and I always felt they were slightly a little bit unbalanced. You know, there was.
Oof, I can't remember there were classes though. That's how long it's been.
There were classes.
Okay.
There were classes. There was some that was really cool. Then one I can't remember. He had like this hood on. He had this almost like a hunk mask. It was like my PSN avatar for a while.
Yeah.
And I purely picked. He was a shit class, but I purely picked him because he looked cool.
Yeah.
But like just like uninspired level design. You know, a bunch of things, but that one, more so than the previous ones we spoke about, was it really had a novel concept, but just like you said now, just executed well.
Yeah. So
it had the most potential, I think.
So okay. So now we're gonna keep on with that. But now, obviously, like I said, the for us the best one is Outbreak, which was a game ahead of its time. So I think is. We've obviously executed correctly. We can have our cake and eat it in the sense of, what is the problem with the Resident Evil multiplayer? It's not scary because you know you've got my back, I've got your back.
Yeah.
You know, more action orientated. So now, I think that's why I say we can have our cake and eat it, as in the sense of, if you want action orientated RE, we do something like Raccoon City. Because, I mean, you are mercenaries, you're dropping in with shotguns, rifles, you know, you are prepared for what's coming in. And now, obviously, I think the engine they must use is Resident Evil, is the RE engine. It's there. It's beautiful. We don't need anything else. Now, if we can do multiplayer, that's a different box of chocolates, like they say. I think with that, what we need to do is, also a problem with Raccoon City was very bright, in the sense of, you know, you could see everything a mile away. Whereas like in Resident Evil 2, dark hallways, you're using a flashlight to look where you're going. And in the trailer, they had flashlights. But obviously in the game, you don't need them because you can see everything.
Yeah.
Do that.
Again, I think like the uninspired design, back to that, very flat, boring, almost like Resident Evil 6. The environments that we got in Resident Evil 6 were just so bland.
Oh God, no! Don't spoil it for me. Don't bring Resident Evil 6 here. Yes, okay, all right. I've just eaten. Oh God.
Sorry, I apologize. But yeah, I agree. And you know, over the shoulder is a fantastic sort of.
Yeah, I think over the shoulder we keep that.
Absolutely. But you know what has intrigued me to no end? There's a little bit of information I found out from Resident Evil Requiem. Resident Evil 9 is going to be both third and first person.
Okay, that's good.
Interchangeable switch. And if you have something like that, because then you can choose your perspective.
True.
You got, you know,
best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds, you know. And you know what I think? What could be salvaged from, you know, something like Operation Raccoon City, and well, not salvaged, but like taken from the concept from it and adding to our, you know, perfect game, was I loved that one part of it where it deviates from canon a bit, and you and your team are chasing Leon Kennedy.
Nah, okay. You go on, but I have to disagree.
Okay, I hear what you say, but now hear me out. So look, the gospel of Raccoon City has been written.
Yes.
Okay, that is, the canon is there. It is what it is. So how do you tell a fresh story, a fresh perspective?
I'm just going to stop you there. Can you just, because obviously a lot of people haven't played Operation Raccoon City. If you could just go on what you're talking about.
Okay, so in Raccoon City, you are. I think you are part. I don't know if you're the same unit that.
You're some special umbrella unit. You're some
umbrella special unit.
Yeah.
And you basically land in Raccoon City to, I don't know if you were supposed to take out survivors.
Yes, that was part of the mission.
Take out all survivors, all witnesses.
Yeah.
And you come across Leon S. Kennedy, who's the ultimate survivor. And they hunt him down, and they actually, they actually end up killing him.
You can choose. Remember?
Oh, you can choose. Oh, okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember.
Blasphemy! Blasphemy that you don't remember this. We were there, HD. We made the choices.
Dude, I played Raccoon City, Operation Raccoon City, the day it came out and the next day, and I think we finished it. And I never played it again.
No.
Ever again in my life. Like, it was just that little burst, and we finished the game within 2 days.
Yeah.
And then that was it for me. So, but just that deviation from canon and just that novel concept of you could change things in a sort of a scenario based adventure. I like that. And I'm not saying have that in the game, but something similar where you know, my perfect Resident Evil game is always going to be based in Raccoon City.
Yeah.
And I think that's why everybody loves Outbreak. Well, people love Outbreak for many reasons. But I think, you know, especially the original fans, our love for the series is that's where it sits, you know, in the original 3 games, and because of the environments and because of Raccoon City and everything that it threw at us. So, you know, just take something that fans want. The fans want an Outbreak remake, right?
Yeah.
So, why do they want it? Look at all the reasons why they like, and just modernize it.
True.
But yeah.
But we'll get there. We'll get there. But like I say, let's try and see how we can make our Raccoon City better. So so obviously, story-wise, I think they should keep it canon. You know, okay, well, I don't like the whole, you can choose if you want to kill Leon or not. I think make it darker where you need to do the flashlights. And obviously make it in the sense of like the first level. Like it's super easy, you know, you're going there, pop shots, 1 or 2 zombies that come out, and you know, you really give that sense of, oh, this is just too easy. And then obviously at the end of the first level, shit hits the fan. You know, like actually a horde, like in Days Gone type of zombie horde just like bursts through the window, and then you realize, you know, okay, I've got a shotgun, I've got an assault rifle, but I can't hold my own against this, you know. Yes. And then from there, it just steamrolls into shit's hit the fan, you know, fubar base. You know, you're walking down, like I say, imagine Resident Evil 2 type gameplay. Every player's got their own screen. I don't like this whole thing. There's one screen and you see everyone, you know, like this camera overview of everyone, just third person. And you're walking down dark corridors with your flashlight. The flashlight has its own mechanic in the sense of, you know, maybe zombies are attracted to light or stuff like that. And you know, you have to maybe, obviously, because you know you're running out of ammo, you don't want to have your flashlight on. There's zombies there, you're trying to sneak past them, stuff like that. And I think make it dark in the sense of like you start off. How did the first one start off? You started off in the Umbrella Labs. Remember? For Raccoon City.
Raccoon City.
Yeah. You know, Hank tells you to go there and get something. Also, one thing to take out is the shooting other NPCs. You know, like the soldiers shooting you. I think take that out completely. It's, you know, I agree. And just focus on the zombies. And like when I say like it's dark, you know, you like start off in the labs and say, listen, the first Hunks team's gone in and they've gone dark. We don't know what's going on, so we're sending you now. You go in there, you look around, you find out what's happened, and you find like a whole bunch of survivors, right? Like security guards and scientists, and all in this one room. And you know, they're all holding this door because they're like zombies on the other side, right? And so like you chat, you get the information, and then they're like speaking to each other. You know, what do we need to do? And the other guy's like, you know the orders, no survivors. Yeah, the protocol. and as you know the protocol, no survivors. And as they say, like, don't worry, we'll all get you out here. Helicopter's on the way. And as they like walk out, they like have a master key that opens that door, and all the zombies start going through, and they close the other door, and you just hear help, and then, you know, something dark like that, and keep that tone. And then you make the story of, you know, shit, dude, you know what we're doing here is like really, you know, like no survivors thing, everyone has to go. Yeah. And then at the end it's even darker. It's like they, you know, okay, yeah, we're at extraction point, come get us. And it's like, oh yeah, we'll be there. And then they're like, the whole team realizes, oh fuck.
Yeah, we're expendable.
We're expendable. There's no one coming for us.
No one's coming.
And now, and just the icing on the cake. In the distance, you just see that nuke coming.
Oh damn! Oh damn! I like that idea. And you know what? I'm gonna add to that actually. You know what would be cool? Like maybe you take canon events like characters or events, and you have it that these characters that you are playing as, you are the ones that maybe caused these events. Maybe you ran into Nikolai and Mikhail on the train while they're waiting for Carlos. You know that little tram.
You meet up with Nikolai.
You meet up with Nikolai. Nikolai is also like, you know, he's in on the whole thing as well.
Yeah.
You report to him. He can be the one that's also giving you orders, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, you can come across the clock tower, see Joel fighting Nemesis. You know what I mean? And sort of avoid it. You know, just small things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Have the game be its own thing. Don't rely too heavy on it, but have the actual events of the first three, or the first, or 2 and 3, which is at the same time. Have that in the background. I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, start off in the labs. You go up in the streets. Obviously, you're going for the T virus, and so T virus is not there. And then maybe it's like, okay, well, sorry, it's a G virus, yes. And then, all right. So now, obviously, if you're a Resident Evil fan, you'll follow along much easier. If you're not, I do apologize. So,
why are you watching this if you're not a Resident Evil fan?
True. I'm in the dark now. I just realized now the sun's so like. So get out the lab. You need the G virus. As in Resident Evil 3, you remember there's a doctor in the hospital that Nikolai's off. In Resident Evil 3, the remake. Oh my god, HD. Yes, in the remake. Remember, there's a doctor there that's hiding out. Anyway, the mission could be, okay, you need to find this dude. He's in the police station. You go to the police station and end him, you know? Go to the police station, and then you're constantly chasing him through the police station, and he manages to escape. And then you radio in and say, listen, okay, sorry he escaped, but we think he's going to the hospital. Okay, we're in pursuit. And they're like, no, we've got someone there going, you know. And then if you're a Resident Evil fan, you know what's going to happen. You go, oh shit, okay, like you said, the
That's
vents.
how that went down.
Yes,
yeah, for sure. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Yeah. No, that would be epic. It would be sort of action orientated. I also think it should be like a squad of 4, and it should be something sort of Left 4 Dead style, in the sense that if you can play it solo, or you can do it co-op, in the sense like you pick a character, and the other characters will either be AI, or people can drop in and drop out.
Yeah.
You know, co-op another 3 friends, and you can do the co-op thing, because that way you can have a proper story. You know, with all of these 4 characters, their 4 styles of play, and you know, they're 4 different sort of personalities and all of those things. Dude, that sounds like a banger, bro.
Yeah.
What would you call that game? What would you call it?
I mean, like I say, I would like Operation Raccoon City to be remade, and I think with the ideas that we are talking about, it's possible. I mean, just revamp the whole story basically, but I don't know what I call it. Operation City of Raccoon. I don't know, man. What the fuck, man?
City Operation Raccoon.
Yeah. But the vibe of this would be very 4 and 5, Resident Evil 4 and 5. It's more action, but make it in the sense of like, you just can't go there guns are blazing. You know what I'm saying? You have those moments where it's like, dude, we have to be clever. Let's sneak around. Let's try. You know, like in Outbreak, there is a level that is just full of liquors, and so you have to spend the whole level like just walking around and trying not to, you know, do that in Operation Raccoon City as well. You know, that's where we implement the fear a little bit. Have those sections where you're like, shit, everyone shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Have it integrated with your mic. Like if you make sounds like on your mic, something like that. You all gotta whisper or. I don't know.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. You know, like
that'll add to the tension.
Sound sensitive, exactly. Like you're walking and you guys ha he ha, and it's like the one dude that's like played this before. Like everyone, shut the fuck up. The zombies can hear you, and like what? What are you talking about? I'm gonna be loud and shit. And then all of a sudden, it's like a horde breaks through the door.
Everyone just stops it because like it's behind me, isn't it?
Yes, yes. That would be the action-orientated game I think we could have. And now for the more classic Resident Evil, Outbreak.
Yes.
So I've talked a lot. You take Outbreak.
Simple.
Yeah.
You just make Outbreak File 3. And with it, you package. I don't know. I think there's what is so insane, and this is a testament to how the longevity of this game. There is still a community out there that is trying to sort of mod and make the original Resident Evil Outbreak and File 2 games better. Updated the net code and all these things to make co-op play much easier. Which is something I need to speak about, and I think that is purely the reason that game didn't do better than what it did, is because it's obviously praised for sort of pioneering this network co-op version of a Resident Evil game. Because I remember I was talking to, like, I think it might have even been me and you, and back in the day when we first played Resident Evil, we always spoke about how would a multiplayer Resident Evil game be, and that was literally what the 1, 2, and 3 was: tank style controls, pre-rendered backgrounds, but you're just playing with friends. But it was on PS2, which was archaic when it comes to sort of online play. So that was a big hindrance.
Exactly. When I say that this game was ahead of its time, like you said, the stuff for multiplayer is still used today. So that, like, the way that you find multiplayer in that game is still used today. And the PlayStation 2 had next to no one playing that game, and that's just the problem. Because, well, not the problem, but that was the problem for that game. Is it was flying cars futuristic, way ahead of its time to what is now. You couldn't play online. Playing by yourself was extremely difficult. The NPCs were doorknob intelligence, horrible AI. But the idea was there, dude. Okay, every character had something special. All right, so like, for example, the security guard and the policeman started with a gun. Every character had also 4 slots, inventory slots. The Chinese chick, whose name I do not remember, she had a backpack would give her, could be, yes. She had a backpack would give her 4 more slots, so she had 8 slots. So she was very useful. Plus, then I don't know if it was in the first one or the second one. Apart from that, every character had a special move that they can do. For example, the policeman, I think he had like a loading shot where instead of let me get my gun. Instead of just going bang bang, he would, if you press it, he would go like and shoot, and that would give more damage. The girl, the news reporter, could dodge.
Yes, Ashcroft.
Yes, she could dodge. The security guard could lockpick. So you build a team around that.
Yeah, so he was the security guard. His design was based off. I think it was it Chris Tucker?
Really?
Based him off, and he had that whole humorous. He was like this whole character. Or was that was he a security guard? Didn't he work at the train station or something? We're talking about that the
bald black guy.
Short black guy. The big one.
Yeah, the big one.
The big one. Oh yeah.
I don't know if he's a security guard. I think he was. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, he was a security guard. I'm thinking of the other dude.
Okay.
His name. I don't remember any of these names. Obviously, Ashcroft is the name that comes to mind. I think it's Alyssa Ashcroft.
Yeah. The mother
who's the mother of Grace, who's the Resident Evil 9's protagonist.
If I may interject, that
you may
that people are hinting that could be the possibility of an Outbreak remake.
Capcom knows what they are doing, making Ashcroft the main character. They know what they are doing.
Okay.
And they know people are going to speculate that Outbreak is along the way. And who knows? We know that Resident Evil 9 has been in sort of development from back when they were making Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
I think even before that, too, if I'm not mistaken, because it's from the game director of Resident Evil 7. So I think after 7 came out, they started working on it, right? What if all the time that they were working on this, yes, they were working on Resident Evil 9, but they were actually also working on Outbreak Part 3.
Oof.
That would be epic. I mean, I this is the horrible thing about, pontificating like this, because we are getting our hopes up for nothing.
Yes, true.
I want to keep my expectations as low as possible for the potential of Outbreak 3. That is, I got high expectations for 9. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's been said through all these games we've been speaking about now, and all the various other iterations of multiplayer modes that Resident Evil had. This Resident Evil 5 and 6 had the campaign co-op. 6 also had the raid style co-op.
I never played them.
Yeah, me neither.
The minute I got that platinum, dude, I bailed of that game.
I platinumed that game. It's like I repressed it actually from my memory. Like, I don't remember a lot of that, and I got the plat for it. I just remember it was a bit cumbersome at times. But Resident Evil Revelations, Revelations 2, that also had. So Revelations 2 had that was co-op campaign and raid mode. Revelations 1 was only raid mode. And when I got that plat, by the way, myself and Gorilla got that plat. I did not expect that game to be as good as it was. Yes, the story was good, and I think a lot of people lauded it as well, because it was at that time. I think it came out after Resident Evil 5, and people loved Resident. We loved Resident Evil 5.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Resident Evil 5 is a very fun co-op game.
It was a fun co-op game, and people loved it. But it was they sort of lamented
there's no scary moments in there at all. The
purists, the Resident Evil purists, sort of like lamented the action focus as opposed to the sort of the horror that we were used to, right?
I get the idea that obviously once all our protagonists from 1, 2, and 3 have been through everything now, they don't blink when a licker starts running at them. I understand it now. They're hardened veterans.
Absolutely.
I get that, but like Resident Evil 4, original and remake, they all had that at least 1 or 2 sections where you shat your pants. And
yes.
What are those guys that don't die unless you shoot the parasites off them? The regenerators.
Hate them.
Terror. That is terror, and that is just Resident Evil. Twitty.
Oh yes, absolutely. In the original and the remake.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed that the original didn't have a plat. I got the 100% for that though.
Yeah.
Really good game. But the point I was getting at is Resident Evil Revelations had a fantastic raid mode. I love that. Most of that platinum was raid mode, and that was simple. And this actually lends more to the original concept that you were speaking about, the more action heavy one. I forgot to mention this actually because while that one was a return to sort of the classic horror roots of the series, Resident Evil Revelations, it did also have very action heavy. Raid mode was very action heavy.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see the game that you were sort of painting there, having that game as hints of it. That is the closest thing we have to something what you were referring to actually.
Yeah, I mean, all Resident Evil games, in all the games, they give you that one section where you can have a power trip. Like you on a railgun and you just fucking mowing down everyone. After hours of ass clenching terror, you can unleash frustration on what has terrorized you.
Absolutely. You want stars? I'll give you
stars. Yeah. But. So we agree. Outbreak is pretty much the poster child for what we want. Just maybe a new engine, clean up, and better. With today can't speak now. Today's internet connection, we can get a game like that. So
Absolutely.
you know, could it? How would I say this? So we'd obviously want. So for those who don't know, Outbreak story is not there. Basically, it's
Doesn't have a story.
yeah. It's scenarios, very good scenarios, might I add.
Very good.
So okay, but you know, you in there, you need to work out how you need to escape. I think each scenario is maybe about 30 minutes, more or less.
A little bit longer.
Yeah. The only downside to it is like you get very limited ammo, and enemies are unlimited. They keep spawning in, and what would happen if you took too long in a room? Zombies would come in. I like that. So zombies could walk through all the rooms. That's very nice. Keep that. But I think it was constant throughout every scenario. You had to basically speed run it. Otherwise, you would die because you would have no bullets to fend off the zombies, or you're in the corner here. You had an infected meter that would go up little by little, and if you reach 100, you did. So you know, so like I said,
you turn into a zombie.
Exactly.
You turn into a zombie, and you attack your comrade.
So I get, you know, there they need to balance it a little bit. As in, I get that you want to have the dread, as in, shit, we gotta move. Let's get shit done quickly. But you know, that also for new players in that game, that's what put a lot of people off. I played the first game, and I didn't get past the first scenario at all. Okay.
The one in the bar.
The one in the bar. And also, if like for me, what was a shock at first was that, you know, when you went into your infantry in the original games, time would stop. Time would stop. In this, doesn't stop. So if you take your time looking at, this key, how do I look at, the zombie would come into the room and bite you on the ass. I was like,
right on the ass.
Yeah. So you know, you need to balance that. You don't want to be too lenient, but you can't go too.
Yeah. But that's classic online sort of people. I think you know, the difference between, you know, that time and now is that the mechanics of what we considered a well designed multiplayer game is prevalent now. There's a lot you can take from now, from different really good multiplayer, or should I say co-op experiences, and put something a bit more fine-tuned together with the Outbreak concept. So it can definitely be modernized. I honestly think it should be remade and not remastered.
Okay.
That's a big thing. I think, and actually not even remade. Outbreak Part 3, man. Look at you can even have the same characters, because Part 2 was effectively almost like a DLC to
according to the video I saw this morning, where they said that that the first game was Capcom rushed them, so that's why there's only 5 scenarios. It sold very well, which is true, and it's a very good game. I think it sold 1.5 million copies, and then Capcom did basically, okay, we're gonna do another one, and basically like, well, we couldn't do in the first one. We've got it halfway done anyway, so here, do this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the second one didn't sell. I believe it's only sold 200,000 copies, and so then that's why Capcom benched it. But here's the thing: of it, the second one was an improvement in every way. You know, the skill ceiling wasn't that high. They were more lenient in certain things. It was very newcomer friendly. Now, where I think that it didn't sell so well, it was not because it was a bad game. It was because people that bought the first, like myself, thought, shit, that game's too hard. I'm not going to put I couldn't get past the first level. Why am I going to buy the sequel?
Yeah. Yep.
That's what happened to it.
It's a good point. That's a very good point. I had both of them as well, and I think I only did pass the first. What is cool about it is you could change the scenarios. You didn't have to pass the first one. You could play the others.
Yeah, I mean the scenarios weren't in chronological order. I mean, you'd start off in the bar, and the next one you'd be in the umbrella lab. It's like, okay.
Yeah, or like in a hospital or something.
True.
Yeah. One that always stuck with me, because I think this is the one that I actually got very close to finishing and I didn't finish, was the zoo on File 2,
Oh
dude.
shit, yeah.
Oh, it was like it took the cool concept of zombified animals. You know, the lion and the freaking giant elephant that chased you throughout the map, and dude, that was so novel. And you know,
Like I said, outbreak scenarios are god tier locations. Some are can be improved, but like the metro, the zoo, the bar I like because you're sitting there and it's it's pure chaos because you're sitting there and the outbreak just happens. You know, that's good.
Dude, the best part in any zombie game or movie or any sort of media is always the outbreak.
Yeah.
You know, it's the switch from you see these people in their normal lives and shit, now they're zombies. And you know, like just them processing that shit. So just the opening cinematic of File 1, that's god tier. I love it.
I'm gonna have to buy File 1 and File 2, aren't I, for my collection? Probably. I'm actually looking at. I've been looking.
You're actually looking at it right now.
Well, not right now. This morning, because you know me. I was watching the video of the certain thing. I was like, get out my phone. Oh, 40 euros. It's expensive, eh?
What are you buying it though?
All right. So on my side of the world, we have two apps. One is called Wallapop, and the other one is called Vinted. These are basically second-hand things. They sell everything on there. Anything you want, you can find, basically. So one day I just looked for games, and if you know where to look, you can find some dirt cheap games, dude. Really. I mean, I remember I bought Ukulele. I don't know if you know what the game that is.
No idea.
Okay, it's a shit game. For €5, and I'm telling you, I overpaid for it. And then here in Europe as well, we have CEX, which is a store chain that specialize in selling second-hand games, and they sell, like I said, everything, PlayStation 1 all the way to 5. And all the PlayStation 1s are behind a glass case because they're the most expensive. Yeah. And you can get some really, for PlayStation 2 and 3, you can get some really dirt cheap games, dude. Like, I remember I bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare for the PlayStation 3, for for €3.
Jeez.
Yeah. They sell it dirt cheap. And then obviously you'll get like Deadpool for PlayStation 4. Which obviously, for those who don't know, you can't play Deadpool anymore. It's been delisted completely. And the first time I walked into the CX here, by where I live, I saw it right there, and it was €40. And I said, "Shit!" I was like, "Okay, I'll get it. I played it. I dropped it because it gave me a headache, dude. I think PlayStation 3 games give me a headache. I've noticed this now. When I play them on the PlayStation 4 port, when they ported to the PlayStation 4, they give me headaches, dude. I think it's weird. That's why I dropped it. But I'm glad I have it because I can, if I want to, I can play what I want when I want to. You know, that's why I like physical. But anyway, let's not go in there because I'll start rambling.
Yeah, we should do an episode on game preservation. Have you signed that? I think that
Stop killing games.
Out in the EU.
Stop killing games.
Yeah.
Yesterday at 5 p.m. they reached the 1 million mark, which is what they needed.
Beautiful. Fantastic.
But for whoever who's watching in the EU, please go and sign it, because even though we've reached 1 million signatures, because you have to put in your personal details and name and all that stuff, right? So they can verify that you are a genuine person. If any detail that you put in is wrong, that vote will be invalid. So then that you know, could bring it down. You know, if they say, okay, you've reached 1 million, but 10,000 aren't legit, then you haven't reached 1 million, and then it doesn't get put in front of the EU. So please go sign, and make sure you put the right bloody info in.
Yeah.
God,
put your right shit in.
I'll find you. Hold on. And I'll put my gun to my ear. God damn it. Very, very tactical. Very tactical.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Did you know? I think it was actually announced today or yesterday.
Are you talking about the survivor unit?
Survival unit.
For the mobile. Everyone's like, yes, for mobile. No!
Hey,
God
look,
damn it, Capcom, you did it again.
I mean, we're getting Resident Evil 9.
Yeah.
Hopefully getting something packaged with it.
No. Don't waste resources and time on some multiplayer shit. Don't do this to me, actually, please.
I apologize.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to be open to this. Hopefully it's free. Hopefully it's something like...
Yes, I do hope Resident Evil 9 is free as well.
Oof, imagine that.
Game Pass.
I mean, something, when I look at when they announced Fallout 4,
yeah.
That time when Todd Howard announced it at some Game Awards, and then that night they released Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good game, dude. So
I don't play that now.
I don't know, maybe it is. Let's see. Let's reserve judgment for now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just something when you take a shit, you play a few rounds or something on your mobile phone.
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
Let's not. Yeah, like I said, don't shit on it too much because we've all had that moment where we're sitting waiting for something and we whip out the phone. For me, my pass of time is Marvel Snap. I am addicted to that. If look it up, it's a card game. You make a deck out of 12 cards, and oh, dude, I was a free to play player for about 3 months, and then I started because every month there's a new season, and then you can pay 10 euros for the season pass. When they give you the usual BS for mobile games, but they give you also the new card for that season. And I just got hooked, dude, and that's boom. I've been paying 10 euros a month for the last 2 years on that game.
No ways!
Yeah, dude. my wife, every time I whip out the phone, my wife gives me that eye because she knows I'm about to spend half an hour just fucking dealing cards.
They got you hook, line, and sinker, dude.
They do, dude. They do. But hey, okay, it's 10 euros. I spend a lot of time on it.
Hey,
I don't do any other microtransactions. I think it's fair the amount of time I spent on. But anyway, Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
You were saying yes.
That Marvel Snap out of here. Yeah, dude. So honestly, just those two concepts, I'll take either of them. Yeah. I'll take that action-heavy one. With a little dark tone, a little narratively driven story. Interacting with characters from the original world. Or I'll take Outbreak File 3. I'll take either of them. I'll take both of them at the same time.
I would actually like both games to be very dark toned in the sense as well. Like with the survivors in Outbreak, you're trying to escape. Obviously, you don't know what's happening in the outside world, and then you meet a whole bunch of policemen or something. It's like, okay, just chill here, rescue will come, and then it's like, and like I say, it's like those dark movies where it's like, oh yes, we're saved, oh thank you, and it's all happy, and it's a slow motion, the kumbaya music, and then the kumbaya music starts to turn to dread. You back out of the city, and like I said, and at the far end. You just see that coming up, and you're like, God damn! At least they're all going out together, because it has to be dark, dude. Because not everyone can survive Raccoon City. A handful of people need to survive. We can't have every game. Oh look, Jonathan over here survived. Oh look, his sister as well. Oh look, the dude who smells on the second floor came out as well. It's dim. Everyone dies. Those who don't die obviously don't know a fucking nuke's coming, so they're all,
we have our survivors.
Yes,
we have our survivors, and look, we are how many years now in the future? 30 years in the future.
I'd say even go even one more. Every scenario, or not maybe every scenario. Like it depends on how long you make the game. You have to make choices, and someone dies. And so
that's heavy.
Walking Dead, that the first episode where you've got the girl in the one, and you've got a. You
can go with Penny, or you can go with. I forget how the chick I always pick.
You need to make that random, but shit. The cop's gonna die, so I have to save the cop or the Chinese girl whose name was Yoko.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay. So like in that sense, you're like, shit. Do I lose my gun, or do I lose my inventory slots? And that's as well. Like with Outbreak, we make it that you can find guns, because I would imagine there are dead cops everywhere. It makes sense that you'll eventually find the gun, but ammo is like super scarce. I've always said I've hated this thing in the remakes where when you shoot a zombie in the head, he keeps going. Sometimes you put him down first time, but the majority of the time he'll keep going. I'm a firm believer if you hit him in the head, he goes down. Especially now in the remake, they don't just walk into a straight line. They're shuffling all about and stuff. So the shot's not clear. I think you should be rewarded for a clear shot. So in Outbreak, we make that zombies are spawn unlimited. They keep coming in, so that pushes you to go. So everyone gets maybe a dodge mechanic. If you're confident enough, you shoot the guy in the head. Boom, that's down. That's one bullet used. Also in the original Outbreak, they had melee weapons. I think that they should make a comeback as well. And there were like different tiers to melee weapons. So I think they should all break, because otherwise they may be OP. But like, you can find like god tier melee weapons like an axe, which is like 1-2 shots, zombies down. Then you like a pipe with maybe 3 or 4. And then you like the low tier weapons like a broomstick, which, to be honest, you in your house, zombie breaks through the window, you've got a broomstick. But you can't kill a zombie with a broomstick. You only beat it back. You can stun it, something like that. Something different. Like you're like, I'm walking with the broomstick. You've got the gun, and it's like, we've got 2 bullets left. And you're like, Danny, what do we do? I'm like, I'll be like, I'll stun it, and you just run past. Something like that. Just think of those concepts.
Absolutely. No, dude, all phenomenal concepts. Phenomenal. I love it. And it just speaks to what you are speaking to, is just being a bit dynamic with what you can use, and be dynamic in the choices you make. You can even dress it up. One mechanic, and I'm gonna talk about mechanics from 2 Resident Evil games now.
Okay.
That was used in that particular game and never used again. Resident Evil 3, the live selection. The live selection, where you could like, if you, and this can be in either of the games. This can be Outbreak File 3, or it can be, I'm just going to call it the Operation Raccoon City concept, where you faced with a horde of zombies. They're rushing you, and your team can either stay and fight, or they can escape into this building here. But then, in this building is some other threat, or it's not even a threat, you're just getting away. But if you take out these zombies, there's something afterwards where there's another area where you could go to that will lead you on to something else. You know what I mean? So completely fork in the road situation. So
like a gun shop, like you could say, like you say, like if you stay and fight, you not even fight. If you can make your way through this horde, there's a gun shop on there, and getting those guns will make future scenarios even easier. Something like that,
So something like that. Live selection, make that choice. And the other concept, which I think this will maybe lend itself better to the Outbreak concept, and that is that freaking actually, I mean, if you think about it, that's exactly what Outbreak is. I was gonna say Resident Evil 0.
I knew you were going to say that.
So maybe you can even do this. You can have it can actually be either concept. It can be the Outbreak File 3 or the Operation Raccoon City remake, where you can play a single player, and you have your NPC comrades with you, but you can switch between them.
Yeah, okay.
I don't need that. Well, I don't know. Maybe I need to think about that a bit.
I think maybe it'll make it a bit too OP.
You would be OP, and you wouldn't sort of like stick with one character. Actually, scratch that. Scratch that.
Yeah, but these are things that you got to get the ball rolling to see what can work and what cannot.
Yeah, these are the things that keep me up at night. These are the things.
I'm just thinking of that meme, with the couples in the bed, and the wife's thinking he's thinking about other women again, and this HC's like, what if I could switch characters in the multiplayer game?
Dude, exactly that. Oh man. But we're never going to stop thinking about these things. Capcom needs to just give us something freaking proper with it. Really.
Let me have a look. See here. I do believe that you are on extra, right? You're on PS Extra, right? Yeah, I'm on Plus. I do believe that that Outbreak is available for streaming. I'm surprised you didn't know this.
Oh, you mean streaming?
To play, streaming wise, when playing.
Or is it PlayStation Now or something?
Oh, oh shit! You can show your age here now. PlayStation Now. Who remembers that?
No, I don't know. I didn't know. I don't fact that thing's still around. Sorry, man.
Hold on.
Stream. Elaborate. What do you mean streaming?
Operation. So like, I'm sorry, I've gone dark now, guys. Operation Raccoon City.
Bravo 6 going dark.
Well, yeah. It's 35 degrees outside, so it's already hot as it is in this room. That's why the lights aren't on. So if I'm dark, I do apologize. So like, for premium, you get PlayStation 1 and 2 games that you can play. You can stream.
Yeah, relax, yeah.
Yeah, so the same for PlayStation 3. And Operation Raccoon City is available for. So, if we wanted to, we could play it.
Do we want to, though?
I would. To be honest, when we played it's with friends. It's a ball.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
yeah,
I do believe that the platinum is a bit tedious and grindy. I'll send you all everything later. I would, it's. If we had to do it by ourselves, we'd probably say no. But if we could rope in maybe you, me, Gert, and someone else, and do and have it what you call a group plat, as we like to call it, I think that there are lols that can be had, especially Gert. He's like Mr. Funny in the group chat.
Dude, I mean, Zombie Army 4, bro.
Zombie Army was very good.
I was going to say, that was a group plat. Group plats here. Myself, you, Gorilla, and I think it was actually, yeah.
Fuck. I hated. Fuck that reach level 100 trophy. That took me. I think that took me 2 weeks to get, because I to not get burnout. I said I'll do an hour a day of just grinding, so I wouldn't burn myself out. And what I did is I played the first level over and over again, because you could speed run that level. And I think you would get like 20,000 XP or something. So I thought that was the best way.
If I remember correctly, I reloaded a save. It was at some point where you throw this nade into this room and it kills like 9 zombies, and you get like X amount of points. I can't remember. It was like it was at this train station section.
Okay.
And then I just reloaded that over and over. So mine was even more tedious because I didn't even finish the stage.
People, if you don't trophy hunt, you don't understand. But if you trophy hunt, you know what it is. It's like like that playing, dude. You get so mind, you become the zombie. But I remember one time in the train station area, playing with Gert, and he's dying, like, guys, throw grenades or to shoot or something. It's like, I'm dead. And he goes, where are you guys? And you and me are like just shutting down the thing, looting. Like, oh shit, did you advance? Oh, we didn't know. It's like, I'm sorry. We're sorry.
Gorilla will always give me shit because this happens in so many games. It happened the one that most famously when we played Red Dead Online, and you were doing these moonshine missions, and you harvest this moonshine and you go take this moonshine and you go sell it, and it's for cash, right? Yeah. And then you fight bandits along the way, and like we shoot all these bandits. I jump off the wagon, he's going, I'm like looting all of them. And another set of bandits come, they just nail him. He's like, where are you? They killing me. I'm just like looting him before his face.
He's like, oh wait, are you still on there? Oh, sorry.
Dude, I'm a looter. I can't help it.
Yeah. But anyway.
But man, honestly, I think, I just want to applaud Capcom for one thing.
Yeah.
Right? Every single time they tried multiplayer, they tried something new. There's that, at least. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
I mean,
back to what you said, there's novel concepts in each of those games, no matter how bad they are. Well, besides Reverse, there's nothing novel about that.
Oh
one,
God,
but
yeah.
There's something in each of those iterations that, could make something work.
Yeah, I mean the concept in itself of trying to make a multiplayer Resident Evil is already hard enough. But with Outbreak, I think it's all laid on Outbreak. Do Outbreak, remake it or whatever, for the Puritans of the series who like survival horror, we can have that. And then for the people who do like 4 and 5, we do Operation Raccoon City or some variant of it. And like I say, you are going in there armed to the teeth, but it's having all that fire make it work against you. Like gun fights attract more zombies. Obviously, the lickers, for example, attracted to sound.
Sound of your mic.
The sound of your mic. Yeah, what do they call it when the in-game can hear you on your mic? What's that? Oh, dude.
I know what you're talking about. I forget the term now.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows what I'm talking about. Well, they should know anyway.
Yeah.
So that integrate that well, that would be great. And yeah, please Capcom. I do think an Outbreak remake or something Outbreaky is coming. If they're using the girl from of
Outbreak.
her daughter from Outbreak.
Yeah.
1 + 1 is 2 for me.
Dude, it's so epic. And even if you time, I need to watch. I know there's probably 1,000,001 sort of breakdowns of the Resident Evil 9 trailer. There are these voiceovers, speaking throughout the trailer, like I forget what they're saying, but it's like these different voices, and like people's trying to place it. Who are these voices? And I keep thinking to myself, it would be epic if somehow they bring in other characters from Outbreak or some and just tie this one to Outbreak, because there's two things that is tying this game to Outbreak, right? It's obviously Ashcroft, the biggest one, and the fact that we're going back to Raccoon City. You know what I mean? So, and because that's the location of Outbreak. So, Capcom is just teasing us at this point. But if you look at the freaking tall order that we've just given, you can almost excuse or sympathize with Capcom around them trying to do something different, because honestly, whatever they do, there's going to be people that's not going to like it. You can't please everybody. You also got to look at Resident Evil is Capcom's, next to Monster Hunter, probably its biggest franchise, right? And you have fans that span over the last 30 years. You know what I mean? There's people that joined in the OG, me and you. This is our expectations of Resident Evil, what we want from a game. There's people that joined at 5 and 6, and they love those games. They can't stand the OG games. It's like, what the hell? This is, they can't take the tank controls. Well, the tank controls is one thing. Yeah. But I think what a lot of people find jarring is the camera angles. Yeah. And the switching of the camera angles with the pre-rendered backgrounds. Folks are not feeling that, right? And then you got some that have joined, during the Return to Survival Horror with 7 and 8. But the first-person perspective. So you've got this huge fan base divided. Everybody wanting different things. What do you do? Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a tough. It is tough,
and obviously games aren't cheap. And like we talked in our last podcast, I think you need to budget it accordingly. Now, let's be real. It's not going to make Call of Duty type money. Capcom needs to be aware of that. So, like I say, we budget. We've got the RE engine. There we go. Resistance. It's the graphics that we want, but now we just need to port Outbreak on it, and if you had to take Resident Evil 4, it's not Resident Evil 4, sorry, Resident Evil 2, and put it on PlayStation 5, its graphics, no one would bat an eye, because that's how good. Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 4 is gorgeous. All right, so like I say, you don't need to spend trillions on this game. Budget accordingly. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
If
Absolutely, 100%, man.
I think if you go to a talented studio if you go to Capcom and you find a dev team that can do it and say, listen, we want Outbreak, modernize a little bit, no more than 80 million. Can you do it? Yes. And then obviously you want to make a bit more money on DLC. Obviously we don't want season passes. If you go to season pass route, you're going to lose a lot of people. You need to have maybe, if like I said, let's say Outbreak, scenarios that you come up with, additional characters. Maybe you have a guest character. In December you can play as Leon Kennedy, something like that. Or have a special scenario where you play as Leon.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Don't go overboard, but have little by little that you can,
have a roadmap.
Yeah,
have a roadmap.
And with Outbreak, I think make everything random, as in the sense of it's never in the same space. That way people. Cool. That's why people come back.
Roguelike. Make it roguelike. Every time you start a scenario, things are randomized. That's interesting.
Yeah. Like for example,
same concept, but you just randomize things.
Yeah.
Randomize items.
Not even randomize like that. Randomize items and randomize events. So like for example, we walk into RPD. Listen, you need to open the statue. Next playthrough is okay, guys. Let's open the statue. It's like no. Now we have to we have to find the way to get into the stars office because we need to get an item so we can leave. Every time you go in, it's a different thing.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
That makes it makes it a bit more longevity.
Longevity, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? If you look at the original team that made Resident Evil 1, headed by Shinji Mikami. That was his first big game, and the godfather of survival horror. Yes, he drew ideas from an original Capcom game called Sweet Home, as well as massive influence from Alone in the Dark. But him and a very small team were given the creative freedom and a little bit of cash to make the game that effectively became this juggernaut of a series, right? And I want to even look at something like Team Silent, who in response to Resident Evil also put together this team. And I love the story of Team Silent because it was literally this haphazard group of developers and testers and all this stuff from different parts within Konami just thrown into this team together. So this sort of motley crew of developers, and they created the only true sort of competition to Resident Evil, because I mean there's people that's been trying to emulate it for years, and Silent Hill's the one that's come close to the point that people will think it's better than Resident Evil. So the point I'm trying to get at is, and this goes to your point about spending money, you stop trying to make something, and okay, this is easy for me to say because I'm not that business, right?
Yeah, we're not footing the bill. Yeah, it's easy for us to say. I understand that.
But look at something. Give your developers some freedom and creativity. Yeah. Did you know that it's only until that Alan Wake 2 has turned a profit?
Yeah.
Even though it was freaking Game of the Year nominee and all, so widely lauded, and because it would cost so much to make, and look, sales is also probably hurt because it was only digital.
Yeah, I only bought it when it came out on physical.
Exactly. So I'm sure there's multiple many factors why it didn't turn a profit sooner, but Remedy's fine with that. I think that might be also why Remedy just released APC Firebreak. They're trying to get some cash in the shooter genre.
Yeah.
Which people are not feeling it. I like it. I'm one trophy away from the plat, by the way.
Yeah, congrats.
I'm probably about an hour away from that plat now.
Okay, well, we'll get it done.
I enjoyed it. But the point I'm trying to make is damn, man, gaming has become such a business, and games has become such a commodity that the creativity has taken a back seat.
Yeah.
And I really think the ultimate Resident Evil multiplayer game is only going to be it's only going to be done if you allow a team to be as creative and to take what the fans want and make the game that the fans want. Not fit in the bill of what what is successful? All the successful games are there. Okay, you need to have this, and then make some sort of Frankenstein version of a game because other games are doing it.
A la Umbrella Corps.
A la Umbrella Corps.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I fully agree. It can be done. It can be done. The thing is, the companies have bought it on. Have bought it. I mean, what? I'm missing my words again. They've bought it on themselves. Whereas they've tried to copy trends. They've thrown millions behind it. It's a dud, and they lose tons of money. So now, obviously, they get cold feet, and it's like, okay, we're only going to do surefire things. And like I say, instead of making one game that costs 200 million, why don't you make 4 games that cost 50? It can be done. I know it can be done. If you the developers are very talented, they'll find workarounds to make that budget.
Absolutely. I mean, especially in this day and age, there's probably a healthy amount of AI being used in game development.
But no, they don't use AI.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Wait. No.
Yeah.
Did I say that out loud? Yeah. Gosh.
Don't give Xbox any more ideas. Have you seen what they canned 9,000 people yesterday?
What even is Xbox these days? What even is an Xbox?
Yeah, I like to dunk. I like to dunk on Xbox, but Xbox they are digging their own grave.
Yeah, and they dunking on themselves, bro.
And the thing is, that's bad for PlayStation, because PlayStation will get comfortable and they're gonna just release shit, because it's like, where are you gonna go? You know, that's what I'm worried about. We need competition.
Exactly.
We need competition.
We need and like Stone's competition.
Yeah.
You know, like from the heyday of like PS3 and 4.
Yeah.
Damn, man. Jeez.
But anyway, that's another podcast. Maybe next week.
Maybe next week.
Well, I think we can call it on that. We've done everything. Well, we've said everything. I don't know if you add anything else.
I can only get so erect.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
You know, I need to stop talking Resident Evil now. And just, you know, stop making a tent in my pants here and just.
True. Go see the wife and ask if she can help you with that. Play some music in the background.
Yeah, that's porno music, but it'll work.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, baby, how are you doing tonight? I'm fine. What is that? And why is the camera on? Don't worry about the camera. Okay. Is that live streaming? Baby, just look at me. Don't look at that. Look at me.
You've been watching the Resident Evil videos. You've been talking about it.
And all of a sudden your wife hears my voice. Hello. How you doing? Could you stop talking now, please? Just get on with it. Well, anyway, enough about me fantasizing about your wife.
Enough.
Yes, exactly. No, seriously, I'm scared of your wife. She scares me.
She's gangster now.
Yeah, she's gangster. Well, thanks everyone for watching. HT and myself, we've got more podcasts like this. What would your perfect multiplayer game be? Let us know down below. Give us a like, share, watch everything else. HT, thanks for being here.
Everybody.
I think that's it. Cheerio.
Yeah, cool. Cheers, guys.